Press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from News Laundry.
We saw insanity in Parliament on Sunday where opposition parties were up in arms against the passage of the farm bills. Farmers across the country are protesting this move as well, while Adarniya Modi ji spoke at length about this historic bill during the inauguration of a bridge in Bihar. Even Kangana Ranaut joined in the outrage and called dissenters the T word. Trash! Trolls! Tatti! Tukde Tukde gang! Tuchha Prani! Terrorist! Yes, that one. She called people opposing the bill terrorists because why not? Anyway, now that the most eminent public intellectual of the country has decided to talk about it, it's clearly important that we pseudo-intellectual types should also talk about it, no? The question before you right now must be, are these farm bills good or bad? Are the reforms to the agriculture sector proposed by the Modi government beneficial to farmers or are they harmful? So, here are some answers. Let's get right into it. First up, there are three bills which are in focus right now. Number 1, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. Number 2, the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. And number 3, the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. The first two were passed by Rajya Sabha on Sunday, while the third one is still pending as I record this. For the purpose of this explainer, I am going to stick to the overall reforms proposed in these bills without getting into too much technical deets. If you want those, I'll leave some links in the description for you to read up. The reforms proposed in these bills is what has caused farmers to come out on the street and protest. Plus, the opposition parties to go a bit bonkers in Rajya Sabha. Watch.
Rare scenes in Parliament today as two controversial farm reform bills were passed on the first Sunday on which Parliament functioned. The opposition was demanding a show of strength and wanted voting on sending the bill to a select committee, supported in this move by parties like the TRS and the Biju Janata Dal. But when the deputy chairman continued the proceedings and passed the bill by voice vote, there was pandemonium.
None of the PS systems are working. This government did not allow us in the opposition. On the farmers bill, we all had resolutions to send this to a select committee. The rule of the house says that if one member also asks for a voting, this government knew that they were not in a position to pass this bill. There were 13 or 14 opposition parties.
Yeah, that happened. On top of all of this, Shiromani Akali Dal leader Harsimrat Kaur Badal also resigned as the Minister of Food Processing Industries. Even the greatest living Punjabi of our times, Daljit Dosanjh, spoke about this. I mean, come on, even Canada is concerned now. Okay, so the thing is that these reforms proposed by the Modi government are good in theory. Yaar, why you pseudo-intellectual Liberando types keep talking about theory, huh? What is this? I said it's good in theory. Wait, you said it's good. You mean Modi ji, you said Modi ji did something good. Kuch bhi matlab. You Liberando. You said good. Yes, I said it's good in theory, but it might be a disaster in implementation. See, I told you. Anti-national Liberando types, how will you? मोदी जी ने कुछ सोच समझ के किया होगा ना ब्रो, तुमको हमेशा ऐसे निगेटिव क्यों होना पड़ता है? करो तुम theory. Anyway, there are three main contentions about the farm reforms. 1. This will allow intrastate and interstate trade of farmers' produce beyond the physical premises of APMC markets and other markets notified under the state APMC Acts. APMC stands for Agriculture Produce Marketing Committee. Don't worry, I'll explain what these are in a bit. Number 2, there are fears that these reforms are leading to the scrapping of minimum support price or MSP. Number 3, this also talks about creating a framework for contract farming through an agreement between a farmer and a buyer before the production or rearing of the farm produce. It has also led to the fear that big corporates will enter the agri market and exploit the hell out of everything and everyone. Yes, I know. It sounds super complicated. That's because it is. But hey, simplifying this shit is what I do. So let me paint you a picture. You see, in an ideal world, a farmer would grow grain or vegetables or mushrooms, harvest it, and then take it to the market. In the market, you, the consumer, would buy the wheat or bengan or mushrooms after haggling with the farmers for the correct price. Then you'll take it home, make cake or stir fry or mushroom ki sabzi and work 25 hours a day to make India the greatest country in the universe. But you might have noticed, my dear viewers, that we do not live in an ideal world. What really happens is this. 86% of all agricultural land holdings in India are small and marginal, which means that the capacity of the average farmer to grow enough produce to actually make a profit is quite low. Plus, they are dependent on weather conditions, fertilizers, pesticide prices, seeds prices, availability of water, power, tools, and a million other variable factors to actually have a sustained source of income. So, the average farmer produces whatever little bit he can and takes it to the market. Here, the market is a state-run APMC. This is where the Sarkar regulates prices and makes sure farmers get a fair price. The produce is bought by licensed middlemen in these APMC markets. Something called price discovery happens here, which means the farmers who come to the market find out the real price of their produce adjusted according to the demand in the market. The middlemen who want to buy produce in bulk negotiate with farmers according to the set price. Now, and this is important, if nobody else buys the produce, this is where the government will buy it instead at a minimum support price or MSP. An MSP buy ensures that the farmers get something for all the effort they've put in. It's not profitable, but it helps them sustain and live off agriculture. MSP is like a safety net for farmers which guarantees that once they go to the market, they will come back with some money. ज़्यादा profit तो नहीं होगा, but loss भी नहीं होगा. After this entire APMC process, the middlemen then sell the produce further to either local vendors or food processing industries. So, the supply chain of how food comes from the farm to your stomach is a complex web of middlemen who make sure that this entire system keeps moving produce around according to demand and that farmers get a fair price. Till now, in some states, not all, the only way for wholesalers or retail traders or food processing companies to acquire produce in a legit way was to go to one of these APMC market yards and get it from a licensed trader. With this new reform, now the farmers can choose to directly sell to private players without involving the APMCs. I say some states because states like Bihar and Maharashtra have already brought in the reform which is now being implemented nationally. This is what forms the crux of the current protests. What farmers fear is that big corporations might now end up exploiting them since the government will not have their backs anymore. A big corporation can start buying produce in bulk, arm twist small farmers and force them to sell at a low price, even lower than the MSP. This fear is not unfounded, by the way, because of the experience of states such as Bihar, which abolished APMCs in 2006. After the abolition of mandis, farmers in Bihar on average received lower prices compared to the MSP for most crops. The other fear is that this parallel free market setup is a step towards removing the MSP completely. The Prime Minister has assured that no such thing will happen, that MSPs will remain as usual, but farmers are suspicious of their intentions. I wonder why. Sidelining APMCs would mean wild price fluctuations throughout the country for different kinds of produce. It would also mean that there would be no price discovery which everyone involved in the transaction has to abide by. Simply put, our agriculture sector will become a capitalist market-free dreamland. So that's evil. Down with capitalism! You thought I'd end this video like a typical commie libtard, eh? Well, you thought wrong. Because let me now tell you how this reform can actually turn out to be great. You see, the current outrage around the reforms might give the impression that APMCs are going away and being replaced by non-regulated free market folks. But that's not true. APMCs will continue to exist, just that it will not be mandatory for farmers to sell there. They can if they want to, but now they have an option not to as well. I mean, who doesn't like options? Yeah? What would happen is that if farmers strike a better deal with a better price for their produce than the ones offered in the APMC mandis, then they will happily go with that. Private buyers will be able to directly deal with farmers on their farmlands, set a price, and even buy their produce in advance. Contract farming will flourish, and there are massive innovations possible due to freeing up these sectors from the clutches of the government. Why would a farmer want to sell at a minimum support price when they can sell for a maximum profitable price? This reform would also reduce the power of licensed middlemen. If you have dealt with our bureaucracy, I don't need to tell you much about how regulation leads to massive corruption, black marketing, and hoarding. There are many cases of middlemen exploiting farmers and forcing them to accept their terms and conditions, even disallowing them to sell in their mandis if they don't obey. Now, the farmer can sell somewhere else outside the mandi. Then he can go to an APMC and say, take that you middleman, बेच दिया मैंने सब कुछ रिलायंस को, पैसा प पैसा, रिलायंस का पैसा. I've given you both sides of the argument. So the question remains, is this good or bad? You know what? In theory, it makes sense to let free market forces take over and decide the fair price for commodities according to demand and supply. But that's in theory. In India, the government meddles with the market all the time. They'll ban exports and imports to benefit certain lobbies, or they'll do it to teach a particular country a lesson. Pakistan. Ultimately hurting the farmers in the process. Plus, this particular government has been an utter disaster when it comes to implementing their historic reforms. Historic demonetization, historic Aadhaar, and historic GST are some examples of this. In all of this, the other big problem is that the government did zero consultation with stakeholders before bringing this law as an ordinance and then bulldozing it through last week. The opposition's demand to send these 3 bills to a parliamentary committee so that it could be studied further was rejected by the government. The demand is that the current APMC system needs reforms, rather than creating a parallel system which will be taken over by big, powerful, rich corporations. The government was like, nope. Cleared the bill with a voice vote, cut off transmission to Rajya Sabha TV, and denied a division vote too. All the while screaming, you guys, this is historic. This is so historic. मोदी जी ने किया है तो कुछ सोच समझ के ही किया होगा. Shut up, you terrorists. You anti-national. You libtards. You pseudo-seculars. Shut up. Viewers, shut up. यार बात तो कर लेते एक बार. थोड़ा सा टाइम दे देते लोगों को इतना बड़ा रिफॉर्म लेने से पहले. Anyway, back to what eminent intellectual Kangana Ranaut is saying about the drug mafia, and which other people can be labeled as terrorists. It's just so much more easier to follow than this, right? See you in the next video.